Coraline marks the highly anticipated collaboration between Henry Selick, director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, and acclaimed author Neil Gaiman.
The combination of Neil Gaiman and Henry Selick seems very potent.
I am a huge super geek Neil Gaiman fan. Then when I learned that Henry Selick was directing it, there was no way that I could say no.
Hello, Coraline. I love Neil Gaiman's stories. He's got an incredible gift with splitting open ordinary existence and finding magic there.
Oh my God.
I think Neil's really poetic. He gives you a storyline you might think you know, and then reinvents it.
Whoa!
I remember the joy for me of seeing Nightmare Before Christmas. Walking out of there going, why aren't all movies like this? Henry's an artist. What he's brilliant at is stop motion. It is a gift. I wanted Henry to make Coraline. Sent him the manuscript 18 months before the book was published.
I immediately thought it was a perfect film for animation. It actually had a very dark tone against light and fun. It's a great pleasure to work with Neil. Right from the start, he's been there with help and advice.
What's fun for me with the movie is I feel like it's Coraline as seen through Henry's world.
The world of Coraline is handcrafted in stop-motion animation, which is a highly detailed, meticulous process.
What?
These miniature puppets, miniature props, sets, the complete world is brought to life by our animators.
It's astonishing. Absolutely everything you see on the screen, somebody's made. Every blade of grass has been painted or built. They've got rooms where they're painting trees. These huge and wonderful sets. These puppets. There's 250 people working on Coraline alone. The tiny details they're putting in are unbelievable. It's just magic.
Whoa!
In the book, I could describe something indescribable. I could talk about walking through a fog and the way that the trees stop being trees and just become things that look like the idea of trees. And what's astonishing is they've done it. Feels like Henry's just taken stop motion to a whole new place.
I think this movie's going to look really amazing.
Amazing! I already know that I am. Hey!
No!
The miracle stop motion it's an actual performance through the puppet by the animator.
I think Coraline is perfect for stop motion. Stop motion is such an interesting medium because there is a realness, but you can also stylize your reality.
It doesn't try to be human, which is kind of, I like that. It is what it is. It's very clever and slightly disturbing.
Are those dogs real?
Couldn't bear to part with them, so we had them stuffed.
It allows us to get really scary in a way that if you did it in a live-action movie and shot it properly, nobody, adult or child, would want to go to sleep in the dark after they'd seen it.
Coraline is the story of an ordinary girl who faces pure evil and triumphs.
When the movie opens, Coraline's mom and dad are in the midst of a huge professional project. They've just moved.
Her parents are too busy for her, so she's just very lonely. Mom! I'm really, really busy. Coraline finds a mysterious little door which doesn't lead to anywhere. It's all bricked up. Bricks? I don't get it. And then, in the middle of the night, it mysteriously opens.
It's a hidden passageway that leads to another version of her own house.
She discovers a similar house, similar neighbors, but everything's improved.
Initially, everything seems like it's a much more interesting and much more cool place.
In her other room, the wallpaper talks to her, the toys interact with her.
What's shaking, baby?
And obviously the food is much better there as well.
Huh.
And waiting for her there is her other mother. And her other mother is a lot like the one that she left, only she has big black buttons for eyes.
We've been waiting for you, Coraline. It's the perfect mom that everyone would ever want, who's the perfect cook and has the perfect answer to any question. You do like it here, don't you, Coraline?
Uh-huh. She entices you with great food, her gorgeous looks. She's a better version of your own mother. And then she starts to waste away more and more and more and more.
She turns out to be a witch, and the whole other world is a spider's web.
Everything in the other world is made by the other mother in order to please and then finally ensnare Coraline.
There's one tiny little thing we need to do.
No way! You're not sewing buttons in my eyes!
Oh, but we need a yes if you want to stay here.
And that's where the trouble starts.
We had some amazing characters in Coraline.
Coraline is very adventurous. She's always wanting an adventure. When you mention danger, she's all over it. I almost fell down a well yesterday, Mom. Uh-huh. I would have died.
That's nice.
She's just so full of vim and spunk and all those lovely old-fashioned words.
Coraline journeys to a parallel world, where she finds all the same people she knows in the real world, only better. Or are they?
In the real world, Coraline's father is sort of a lovable, affable, though easily distracted guy, the guy who walks around a banana peel and then falls into a manhole.
He has that thing that fathers do when they embarrass their kids and somehow think that they're being cool.
I have a terrible case of writer's rash on my...
And in the other world, I play the other father, who's a lot more fun, a lot more swinging. He's got a kind of a Dean Martinish style.
Making up a song about Coraline. She's a peach, she's a doll, she's a pal of mine. When she comes around exploring, Mom and I will never ever make it boring. Our eyes will be on Coraline.
Mr. Babinski is a giant Russian who is blue and eats beetroot, so I don't think he's to be trusted at all.
Here, have beet. Make you strong. До свидания, Caroline.
Coraline.
And then he also plays other Bobinski as a circus master, the ringleader. Wybie Lovat is a character that I invented for the movie.
I like Wybie. I understood from the very first script why Wybie was there. Wybie is there so that you don't have a girl walking around occasionally talking to herself.
Ooh.
I needed somebody for her to share her thoughts with.
Ow!
So he's basically the neighbor kid.
Check out Slugzilla.
Ew. In the other world, he really helps Coraline a lot.
I play the mother who is you know, really tired and worn out. We made a deal. Zip it. Then there's other mother who is just surreally perfect, and she becomes quite monstrous.
Is that any way to talk to your mother?
You aren't my mother.
Get those 3D glasses ready. Coraline is the first stop-motion animated film created in groundbreaking, eye-popping 3D.
It's just so not like the 3D we grew up with.
We're not relying on a lot of 3D gimmicks, stuff flying off the screen all the time.
There's a sense of reality.
3D captures the complete miniature world that we, the filmmakers, have been aware of, but have never really been able to share with our audience. So we're going to bring them inside the worlds we create.
I saw the 3D test this morning and my jaw dropped. I don't think I've ever seen any 3D that looked like that. And I'm sitting there scared. And I thought, why am I scared? I wrote this. I know what happens next. It's not computer-enhanced 3D.
It's a real model with real substance, and the real sets with the real clothes.
This is the real thing, and it feels like the real thing.
I'm incredibly excited to see this coming to life before me. The movie will be scary and spooky and filled with creepy crawler things.
It's the most delightful fantasy and the most, terrible fantasy. And this is Alice in Wonderland, this is Where the Wild Things Are, this is Harry Potter, this is Pan's Labyrinth, this is all of those stories.
If audiences can take away terror and joy in roughly equal doses, I'll be very happy.
You are in terrible danger.
Do not go through little doors.
You may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.